Hi, my name is Robin DaVinci, and I'm standing here in Santa Monica, California, and I am going to tell you my story of my entrepreneurship and the beginnings of my business. 34 years ago, I found myself outside my marriage, on the outside of a long-term relationship with three small children and $23.76 in the bank. In other words, I was broke and I was scared. The first thing I did was get the help of family and friends, and the second thing I did was pretty much fall apart. I had been out of the workforce for 13 years, and I had no idea what I was going to do. I wasn't going to be penniless because my children's father was certainly going to help me, but I had not faced what the needs were of my children if I were the one that was taking care of them by myself. So I had a little bit of a breakdown. I got sick. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I did all those things that you do when a relationship that means something to you is no longer there. But through the next 9 months or so, I took in babysitting and cleaning and volunteered for things and offered my help for things and said, what can I do now to make money for my family? And I said, well, when I got out of school, I went to work as bookkeeper. I had some great people that I worked with, and they taught me a lot. I said, maybe what I should do is go back to one of my strengths, which is numbers. And I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to have to do that. So it just so happened that my mother was retiring from her job. She had unsuccessfully tried to train 6 people to take her place, and they all said, no, I don't want to do this. And so she came to me and said, look, I think I can trust you. Would you please take this job over from me? So on October 1st, 1984, I started bookkeeping. At first, I was a W-2 employee. So when the board of directors met, they said, you should be an independent contractor, not an employee, because you're actually more like an assistant to the owner and his partners. He had several partners. And indeed, I started my career, my second career, my new business, by being an independent contractor. So I said, what the heck is an independent contractor? And so it was briefly explained to me, and I didn't feel I had any choices, so I said, oh, okay. So at the year end, I started doing the 1099s, including the ones to myself. And I had this fabulous CPA who said, well, this is how it works, Robin. This is what it means to be an independent contractor. And I am going to share all of that with you in a later video so that you understand what it means to be an independent contractor and hire independent contractors. But for now, what I want to say is the first piece of advice he gave to me is go get your business license, go get your DBA, and separate yourself into 2 people. And I looked at him and I said, what? And he said, Robin, you are now a personal Robin and a business Robin. And so you need to figure that out. I'm here to help you, but you need to figure it out. And I said, all right. So by January of 1985, I had my DBA. I think I got it that year. It may have been the end of the end of that year. I kept my checking account together. Then I opened another one, and I started the process of being 2 separate people, business and personal. And I'm going to share that first experience with you. Now meet Robin DaVinci, the businesswoman. Back in 1984, I started out as a sole proprietor, which meant I was in it by myself, basically. And I took in clients, stayed up late, worked weekends, charged everybody by the hour, and worked as a sole proprietor. I didn't have any money nor time to really hire someone to help me, and I wasn't sure I really needed help. I think I was wrong back then that I didn't need help, but I later became someone who hired other people to help me take on the workload. But at first, I was just a sole proprietor. I worked out of my house. I didn't have an office. Then, years later, I said, you know what? maybe I should partner with a few people. And I did that for a little while. It didn't really work out. I was very, very disappointed that that didn't go well. But I said, maybe I'm just meant to be a sole proprietor. And then I started to really gather some momentum as a businesswoman, and I opened an LLC. I formed an LLC, a single member LLC, and I hired employees, and I got a medical insurance plan. And I said, oh my goodness, this is now opening a whole nother can of worms. I needed to learn labor laws. I needed to have posters. I needed to make sure that I was in compliance with all of the state of California and the federal government rules about employees. And I said, well, you know what? I'm really liking this. I felt comfortable with the structure, but I stayed that way. I stayed that way for a while, and my children were grown and they were in college or they were out on their own. And then a few years ago, I said, I think I'm going to form a corporation. And I did. I obviously always sought the help of lawyers and made sure I was in compliance with everything. But today I have an office in Santa Monica. I have several employees. I try to follow all the rules. I make sure that I treat my employees well, I respect them, and I respect myself as a business owner. I'm not saying I have that much more free time, because being a business owner is a big responsibility. And I want to share on this journey with all of you new entrepreneurs and all of you who want to be entrepreneurs, all of you who truly want to be business owners. I want to share with you exactly what it takes to be a business owner. I have 34 years in now. I have pretty much survived every downturn in the country, the economic downturns that happened in the late 80s, at the late 90s, the 2008 crisis. I've pretty much survived it. I had to do some heavy maneuvering. I had to get some loans. I've had to rely on probably a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get it done, but I have survived for 34 years. So I feel like I've made the mistakes and I've done some things well, and overall, I would view myself as a success. And I really, really want you to learn from what I did and did not do correctly. And as a baby boomer at the age of 66, I really want to give back for the next couple of decades all that I've learned so that you can survive and thrive in the business world. I'm a small business, so I don't have any suggestions for an entrepreneur who's going to make billions, but I can get you started on that ground floor. I can help you with structure. I can get you going. I can make sure that you do the things that you need to do the right way so that you don't have to correct a mistake that is costly. And I want to tell you, mistakes are costly. So we're kind of in this journey together. If you're really interested, I'm going to start telling you about the structure and helping you to create that. And I will, for the next, hopefully 3 decades, be available to answer questions and get things done. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And I guarantee you, you won't regret it, and you're going to learn some interesting stuff. Thanks.